All right. Hello. We're starting. Doing it. I just all of a sudden my mind went completely blank. That's what I need. All right. How's everyone doing today? I know I'm excited because we are finishing the Eradicators today. The sergeant is gonna happen. So where we're at, pull this down so you can see it all. Still on pieces. Mostly because I forgot to do the base until a couple hours ago. I was working on this before the stream. I need to put a little bit more texture paint on here as one of the other hole, it sank. Which is funny, didn't do that on the other ones. Um, but yeah, we got legs are done, chest is done. Two arms just need a little bit of work. Highlighting on metal on this arm, and then the transfer. And then this just needs, because I don't have transfer for this yet. They're still in the mail. We're gonna do the purity seal, and I'm gonna use that footage for a tutorial later. And how I do my tutorials. A tutorial on tutorials. No, how I do my purity seals. Then this arm will be done, and we have the backpack and the head, and then we will be finished with this guy upon assembly. So yeah, I'm almost certain that will be entirely within this stream, and then tonight's stream we will start on the Sakaran Venator. So let's get to it. And yeah, I know I gotta fix the lighting a little bit here. It's very bright for the cameras. It's just where I like it, but it's bright for the cameras, so I'm gonna turn that down. How does this look? Can we get brighter? It's a delicate balance between my eyes and the camera's sensitivity. But too bright. One notch down, I think. Alright. Cool. Alright. Let's do this purity seal up. So I'm gonna start with, not that, I'm gonna start with Rakarth Flesh. This is to give us a proper base. Where it's going to block the black from coming up into the next layer, and it's going to provide more depth of the next layer going down. So it's adjusting color reflection in both directions, deeper and higher, or lower and higher. I don't know. There aren't good words for this. Rakarth Flesh is a little grainy. A little bit of processing there on the wet palette, which is very moist right now because I threw a ton of water into it earlier. Probably too much. That's fine. Yeah, we're just gonna put this whole thing in its entirety in the Rakarth Flesh. Nice. Sometimes that takes 2 coats, but that one went on pretty smoothly. Alright. Next is pallid witch flesh, which, yes, my pot is old and beat up, but pallid witch flesh. You gotta shake it like you mean it. And this probably will take a couple coats. Because this is much thinner, much more transparent, inherently. Yeah, for anyone paying attention, yeah, the Rackard flesh is effectively an undercoat. That would be the term for it. Pallid witch flesh is technically going to be the base coat. Part of the trouble with Pallid Witch Flesh is that it is a fair bit grainy. Like, it has some texture to it, especially as it dries. Like, it dries fairly inconsistently, I find. And it's not always stuff you can process out by giving a solid mix on the palette. It'll just happen on the model, so sometimes takes a bit to get it smooth and correct on the model itself. Like, when this is a major color on the model, I usually just airbrush it because it's such a pain to get smooth. That's why I usually do most of my skulls separate from the model that they're on. So I can airbrush the skulls because this is a very similar process to how I make my bone. It diverges upon the shading part, but the base colors are the same: Rackard flesh and then Pallid witch flesh. Okay, great. It's kind of hard to see from the lights, but there we go. I do wish my camera app on my phone that's being used as the actual painting cam, like the main cam, had a contrast setting. I could try. Oh, that does actually kind of help. A little bit. Anyway. Alright, next step. Agrax Earthshade. Even giving that a good shake because I spelled a bunch of it recently, so there's a lot of dregs going on. My specific pot really doesn't like its lid open enough to dip from. Really finagly about it. My drag game is not great right now. Not gonna lie. Yeah, we're gonna let that dry a little, and then give it a second coat, I think. Probably just a slightly watered down, like really generous thing, and just let that dry. It's more even. While we're waiting, actually, well, for one, actually, you know what? Sorry, all over the place. We're gonna fix that little divot in the base so that has time to dry. So it does dry by the time stream ends and we can assemble the whole thing on the base. Hopefully, maybe. What's really annoying is that because of the time constraint of the tournament that I'm painting these for, I'm not going to have time to put all the extra effects I was originally planning on these guys until afterwards. So we're not going to see completed, like considered complete pictures of these guys for a while yet. Up to like a couple weeks, actually. Alright, next step. Don't mind me. The metal highlights on the left arm. Trying to figure out how to allow you guys to see me do it in a way that'll let me do it correctly. The armpits are always kind of weird as far as angle goes. little bit of silver gone to the elbow joint here. It's supposed to be black. I don't think this specific brush has the insoleness to rub it off. Let's try this one. Nope. It's a little risky because it's rough because there's a bunch of dry stuff on it. Leftover dry brush and crap. Yeah, that's actually making it worse. No! Yeah, I'm just gonna have to throw some black on there. I hope it doesn't mess up the mattness of it too much. Alright. Back to steel highlights. Get this guard here. Currently doing kind of a meh job on. Looking pretty good there. Alright, let's throw some micro set. I know words. Micro set on there. Prep it for the transfer. Yeah, sure, whatever. I'll use this brush. Nothing like the smell of micro set in the morning. Because it does have a smell. Very, almost like it almost smells like vinegar. It actually isn't the worst smell in the world. Oop, nice. Oh, am I that tired? I don't... I felt fine before the stream, now I'm just losing my mind. Alright, back to this purity seal. Okay. I let that dry. By this point, micro set because that was a fairly thin layer. Yep, that's already dry. So we're gonna move on to prepping the transfer. And just get a. Let's mess with all the cameras. Gonna get a quick Raven here. I hope we don't do the same thing we did last time where we cut into the emblem next to it. So we're gonna skip one. Ugh. Everyone got fun plans for the weekend? I know mine's super busy. Got some new web work in for tomorrow, and then a impromptu D&D game tomorrow night, and a family gathering Sunday. So everyone can see my brother before he moves to Florida with his family. Including his new wife. He just got married about a month and a half ago. Gotta move the camera again. There we go. Alright, now that's loose. We're gonna put a little bit of water in here to allow us to move the transfer around. We can center it. This specific brush was not the best for this. In fact, it took so long that I lost my water. Heard that dirt? I folded slightly because I didn't. Normally I cut the corners off, but I was like, I'll try not cutting the corners this time. Eh. A bunch more water in there so we can move it around properly. You know what? I find that when you want to center this stuff, best way of going about it, although it takes a very gentle hand, use the back of my X-Acto knife. Well, it was a pretty firm grip upon the transfer in question. Seems about right. Alright. Now we let all the water dry, which will take a minute. And then we apply Microsol to melt that down, to flatten it, smooth it out. We are now on the final stage of the Purity Seal. Where's my size 1? There it is. And I'm going to use some matte black from the Army Painter. It's actually fairly darker than I usually go, so you know, I'm gonna add another step here. Not gonna add much time, but we'll get you a better product, honestly. Take Tyrant Skull and my smaller dry brush, which I keep messed up and crusty. Both my dry brushes I keep messed up and crusty on purpose. Fortunately, my Tyrant Skull is getting kind of old. Yeah, a little harder to work with at times. Now I'm going to go in for the scripting. Try and get the... Pardon me while I get the camera just right for sake of the tutorial in question. There you go. Maybe not my best purity seal ever, but functions. Alright, that arm is done, because I don't have a transfer for it. Until next week, according to the shipping info. I just bought a couple sets of the Primaris upgrade pack for Raven Guard off eBay. The only way I was going to get them before the tournament without paying like $40 per the upgrade pack off Amazon, I think. Oh, it's absolutely nuts. Ugh. No idea why I'm so tired all of a sudden. Like I said, I felt fine before the stream, and then cameras turn on and I start crashing here. That's not good. Alright, so oh yeah, check how the arm's coming. Transfer. I'm gonna let that dry oop, can't even see it. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit more, and then start applying the microsole. So our next piece is the power pack, which these are always pretty quick. Ironically, the Gravis ones are easier to do, I find, than the standard ones. Go figure. So, it shouldn't take very long at all. Gonna grab some lead belcher. Put the steel on this thing. So yeah, I'd be surprised if this backpack took me longer than 20 minutes. So I'm gonna turn down my feed into my ear from the music. My the background music's volume for me is independent of yours, so it's just I like to keep it fairly loud for me, for a number of reasons, but I don't know, this track's just super loud. And that's... oh yeah, it's a little data. Actually, there's a couple dots of black I gotta fix here, but yeah, that's the base coating done. All of it. Because there's only two colors on the power packs. Black and steel. So I fixed a little bit of black, throw some null oil on the steel, and then begin highlighting it. Although, before I begin the highlighting, which will give the null oil a second to dry, I'm gonna throw some microsol on that transfer on the left shoulder. I missed the top of that one? Oh, I did. Oops. Oh, I just tapped my finger on the other vents, too. Just like that, it all begins falling apart. Oh, I need a little bit more known oil. Alright, low belcher is still very wet. So we're gonna leave that there while we go check out that transfer. Yeah, that's right for the microsol. That simple. Let that dry. There's a lead belcher here. Let's say that's dry. So get that oil back out. I'm kind of thinking maybe do the metal highlights first because of the off chance of mistakes. Some of them... Actually, no, because of the little bolts. I'll say because of the little bolts, I'm pretty sure I can do the rest of it without screwing up, so... how's the dawnstone here? I think I need fresh dawnstone. What's this? Is usable? Thought this was the fresher stuff. Yeah, it's still not very fresh. I'm thinning it down a little bit with airbrush flow improver. I have a little puddle in the corner of my wet palette there. That's what that was. Here at the top of it. Oh, that was one of the bristles that came entirely loose. It's still in there. That was gonna cause problems. I kept hitting my phone wire at the other end of the brush. That obviously does me no favors. I feel like in a lot of the Gravis design, It was just, alright, if there's an exposed spot, put more armor on it. And then we'll just figure out the details of like the inside and how to make that like function. Man, like every little bit has just an extra panel on it, an extra plate. And that's effectively the entire design philosophy of Gravis armor. You noticed for efficiency, what I'm doing is painting all of the edges on the same alignment in like one pass in an area. This I find is actually the most efficient and not always the most fun way of painting. Since I definitely want to ensure that this guy finishes on the stream, I'm pulling out the efficiencies. And I hadn't heard this track before. This track's pretty decent. Yeah, I thinned that specific set way too much. And just like that, falling off into like the more fun way of painting, which is following the line. Alright. So, turns out I put just enough dawnstone on for that highlighting. It's pretty good. Because unless something weird comes up, that's the last of the fresh dawnstone I'm gonna need for this. Only the only dawnstone left to do is the dry brushing of the base. How's this dry yet? I think this is now dry. I can get another pass with Microsol. Yeah. Now we do the steel highlights in the backpack, and the backpack is done. Alright. Backpack finished. Pretty good. So as this is the sergeant, I'm going to be using the white armor recipe I use for the white scars. Means it's actually quite a number of steps. So this may take a good deal of the rest of the if not the entirety of the rest of the stream to do this. Yeah, first thing I'm going to do is actually handle all the metal entirely. That way any screw-ups I can just fix with matte white random king. I think I might also do the base coat for the eyes for the same reason. Maybe I'll also ink them first. Maybe I'll just do everything except for the white armor first, which is what I usually do with the white scars as well. But before I get to that, let's handle the other stuff that is drying, or waiting on drying. How's this looking? I'd say the icon itself is done. It just needs Lamy and medium to knock out the gloss of the transfer itself. Which I'm gonna hit the entire pauldron with it, so it's all consistent, and this will also seal in the transfer for certain. Very good. Next, we're going to take a look at the base, which might be ready for known oil. Yeah, I think that's ready for known oil. Looks completely dry to me, even the patch. I'm just gonna hope it is dries before the end of the stream so we can put this entire thing together. Alright. Let's grab my size 1 and some lead belcher with a little bit of flow improver so it goes exactly where I want it to go. I might even switch over to the size 2 because right now that thing has a better tip for some reason, I don't know. Size 1 is just very quickly falling apart. Even though this is like a new brush, but oh well. Happens sometimes. Yep, got some in the white. Didn't take long. That was a pretty cool track. I like the lyrics on it. Yeah, this whole bit is all metal as well. That's a steel base coat. We'll put a little bit more on that front grill. Yeah. We'll non-oil it. Highlight it. Do the eyes and begin the white armor. And take a minute. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Non-oil. Let's go. Liquid talent. Alright, what we're doing next is, with the eyes, we're gonna do Wild Rider Red. Which I think I can still get enough to work with from what I was doing earlier. I went on pretty cleanly on for one coat. I don't think I'll need another one. You want to get that back corner though. There you go. Doing just a little bit of a rim around it for the ink to grab onto to give it a glow effect. Yeah. I'm having a really hard time focusing on that. Maybe if I switch to the auto. Yeah, it works better. Yeah, now I can show you guys up close. So yeah, that actually looks like a great base. I'm gonna pop on just the littlest bit of white in a dot. Which I'll also use this little pool of matte white as my cleanup as we go through as well. Perfect. Red ink still good from earlier? It is. Sweet. So I'm going to take a nice big thing of red ink and coat the whole orange bit and slightly outside. Actually, it'll mostly carry out naturally on its own, so really just gotta pop it in there and let its liquidity do the rest. Let that dry. While it's drying, we're gonna do the steel highlights. Yep, I keep hitting the cam. I know. Tapping out with my glasses. highlighting done. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the way here. Pop it on down here, even though I doubt anyone will actually be able to see this, but just in case. You can already slightly see the little dots sticking through on the eyes, and they're not done drying yet. I might have made the ink too thick, to be honest. That is possible. We'll see when they're fully dried. It's also going to be adjusted slightly by us doing the weight armor. Speaking of which, first step, I'm going to take Apothecary Weight Contrast. Which didn't really mix much at all, because I think there's not enough left. No, there's stuff to mix around. I guess I just need to shake it more. There we go. We're gonna delicately put this in all of the recesses as I call it a wide shader or a broad shader. Where it's not even, its job isn't even to like darken so much as provide a gradient for the what would be like the normal shader later. Alright, I do believe that's all of broad shading. I am going to change this track. You know, I think it's about to end. I think I noticed it. Yeah, I noticed it right at the end. Sure. Actually, nah. Yeah, okay. Next is a mix of Apothecary Way contrast, Black Templar contrast, and Lamian medium that I have just mixed up in a bottle here. And yes, the caps keep splitting on it. A bunch of it keeps drying around the nozzle, and then yeah. Oh, I just dragged that into like a bit of weight. I didn't even see on the palette. If the tip on this is fine enough to pull this off, else I'm gonna have to switch to a different brush. Nope, seems to be good. We are cleared to continue. Yeah, I did put on the ink too thick. See how I decide to remedy that. Okay. I'm not really careful. This brush is too thick. Fortunately, I have ways of fixing stuff like this beyond just scratching with my nail. Oh, sup, butterfly. Thank you. Yeah, man, I just keep hitting my camera. Yeah, it's looking a little dark in the shadows right now, but it's gonna be softened up when I get to the highlights. But thank you. We're finally finishing the Eradicators today. This is the last real piece. The base needs some dry brushing, then it needs to be put together, and then we're good. How are you doing? I'm good, just did a paint order. Oh, nice, restock. We call it a restock, just a stock. All I have is a Citadel base at So what'd you buy? My camera just go out for a minute? What was that? Yeah, weird. A lot of Lejo colors, just ram stuff. Really got some army paint, metals, and a Nuln Oil. There you go, some liquid talent. And you missed it. I was in the Nuln Oil like for probably the majority of the first hour of the stream. Just alright, now we're gonna do Nuln Oil. Now we're gonna do Nuln Oil. Let's get some Nuln Oil on this. Yeah, there's a reason the community calls it liquid talent. Game changer. Once you know how to utilize it. Alright. I'm gonna get some Black Templar contrast and use it to color in those. How much you charging for commission out of curiosity? So, I get asked this a lot. Here's the thing. I offer so many different things in regards to commissions. Everything from, I mean, I have 4 different detail levels. Something like a dozen different add-ons. That even includes like massive conversions using like green stuff and like freehanding and stuff. So I basically quote out every commission completely independently based on that exact job. So yeah, like I've been asked like, oh, can I see your price sheet? How much do you typically charge? I'm like, every single commission is entirely different because the project's entirely different. Until I've done like, I want 90 orc boys just prepped for a tournament, and then I've done that twice. Until then, like every single one is different. Um, is it good money? That is dependent. Um, when I quote it well, it can be, and that um, when I screw it up, it's usually really bad. That's usually on me. Um, it can be decent money. I wouldn't call it good money. It can be decent money. It's fun. The more creative the commission, the more fun I have, definitely. Uh, it really just comes down to how much time I end up putting into it. If it ends up being good money or not. Because, I mean, for example, I had someone ask me, like, if I would paint this, like, paint them my version of this pretty well painted, send me a picture of it, pretty well painted Iron Warriors Leviathan Dreadnought. I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. Yeah, I could do something like that. Yeah, if you want that to, like, basically centerpiece quality, you know, like tier 4, like it's gonna blow your local store away. That 1 mile is $1,000 bucks. So it's gonna take me like a week of nothing but that. Like all I'm doing is painting that Leviathan Dreadnought, basically. It's like, yeah, that's a grand. That's really high quality though. Add like freehand, add like airbrush, like lighting effects, add like custom base stuff on it, you know. Yeah, it's a cool mount. It totally deserves that kind of attention. I have a Leviathan, and I spent like 2 months painting mine. Granted, I wasn't painting all the time then. That was well before I went pro. Or was able to fully control my schedule. So that took me like 2 months when I did that one. I also didn't have an airbrush at the time. It was all by hand. But yeah, it was based on the size of the model and the detail on it and how much, you know, I'd be messing with effects and making the base or ordering the base, because I've done ones before where I've ordered the bases from, what are they called? Anyway, third party 3D print design company, basically. Like I would get a whole bunch of their base. I still have a bunch of their bases actually. And I used them as part of commissions. So that's got to be factored in too, because I'm not paying for any of that. Oh, actually my Leviathan? Oh, I don't think picture is on there. Oh, because I haven't done an updated picture of it. If you go to my Instagram and go like way, like nearly to the bottom, you can see it. Currently all the stuff in my portfolio is the stuff that I've taken updated pictures on, like with my current scheme with the black background and the and all that. I have to clean up my Leviathan a little bit as it's taken some wear and tear. So that's why I didn't take pictures of it when I took pictures of everything else. But Bits of War, that's where I got the bases from. But anyway, so yeah, when I get around to cleaning it up, it's got some paint chipping and stuff on it, you know. So yeah, jump on my Instagram, scroll like a good ways down, and you can find it on there. Alright, so I'm gonna put just a little bit away on this one dot where the Black Templar went way over. And then I'm gonna pull out the Corax White, and we're gonna begin highlighting. You know, actually, also, I'm gonna redo the eye dots I did before, and we're gonna put a much more watered down and do a little larger of a dot here. Water down the ink way more, and then apply ink on there again. wonder if I can... You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I wanna put... It's like a whitewash. I'm gonna whitewash the eyes so they're a little bit... Not exactly sure what this is gonna do, but I think it might help me out here try to get the effect I want. I don't want this so, so opaque. Yeah, thanks. Oh, I think, yeah, the other reason I wasn't gonna take pictures of that, take updated picture of that yet either is the Graflux Bombards. I got a way better, way of doing the effect on that. That was right when I was starting to do visual effects that I painted that piece, so the Grafluxes are not that great. Serviceable. But no, I want to do a way better job on the Grafluxes. Yeah, then I'll take updated pictures and put it on the portfolio, you know. All right, so I need for X white is going to be layer 1 of the highlights, and I do think I can just pull this off before the stream ends. Man, getting paint out of this thing though sucks. It's all gone to crap. So it's 1K to most who has a job. No. And I didn't even get that Leviathan job. I wish I did. But you know, that was a good example. Most I've gotten paid for a commission before is... I want to say like... What was it? It was like around 3 grand. It was a pretty large commission. Actually turned out to... It should have been way more. It was like 3 or 4 grand, I think. Should have been way more. I misquoted that. I've learned since that if you want me to do someone else's paint scheme, I'm charging you massively extra. Because I don't know what that's going to look like on my end, and I'm not able to, like, make that any faster than, you know, whatever it takes me to paint it. With my own paint schemes, I can usually find a way to, like, trim down the time, like, quite a lot. Like, all the Necrons on my portfolio, that was actually for a charity thing that I was asked to do by my local game store. I did that entire star collecting box in 9 days, and I can shave that down to 6. Because it's my own paint scheme, for example. So basically if someone comes to me, yeah, like an exact recipe, like you're gonna use this color as your base coat, this color as your shader, this color as your or not even colors, but paints, these specific paints. Use this paint as your base color, this paint as your shader, this paint as your highlight, and these for your effects and whatever, like a specific scheme. I'm doing that, I'm gonna charge you extra based on how complex the scheme is, because you know, like I said, that means like I can't mess with that to find a more efficient way of getting a similar you know, a similar look, you know. Because if on my own I can do an entire Necron Star collecting box to like tier... That was probably tier 2. You know, battle ready, effectively. In 6 to 9 days, you know, like, yeah. Might as well just painted themselves and knew how to... Well, to be fair, it was an extremely complex recipe that I was given. It was actually heavy metal. Like GW's official paint crew. It was one of their schemes, so it was very advanced and extremely time intensive. Which is why that specific commission, which I won't say, you know, which one it was. That one went way out of scope, super out of scope. I basically lost money on that one. But hey, on that specific scheme, I got really good at it by the end of that. Jeez. Yeah, that specific recipe was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps for base, like the primary armor color. But like Necrons, if I ever build an army and not just random stuff, I'll get them. Oh yeah, Necrons are really cool. They're really good on the table right now too. So yeah, I'll say right now, I'm not like most people that have never really interacted with commissioned painters before. From their perspective, I would say I am not cheap, but I actually am like fairly competitive, not super competitive for reasons, but yeah, I err on the more expensive side just because a lot of the commissions I do end up doing are fairly high end and have a lot of like special stuff added on. Yeah, I mean, you were on my portfolio, so if you go to the home page is where the form is to, you know, get a quote for a commission, and there's like how many add-ons there? Like, it's over a dozen, pretty sure. And some of them you get automatically if you're getting something panned to a certain level, like barrel drilling, anything tier 2 or up. Um, did I ever add a tier 4? I thought I did. Anything tier 2 and up is yeah, I did add a tier 4. Um, gets gets the barrel drilling, for example. What do I have here? Oh, it's not a dozen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 there, and actually, no, I do have conversions there. Conversions and freehand have like the most range of crap in it. Oh, and that's not even including the basing, because I can literally just build bases. So yeah, it's a whole lot of crap. Yeah, display piece, right? You want to just set on a table and everyone around you goes, ooh, right? Like, you know how long I'm going to be sitting there with that one piece, especially if it's big? Like, jeez. And it's even worse if someone's like, I want an army at tier 4. It's like, oh, alright. Hope you got like some investments or something to sell off, or a spare kidney, because holy crap. Like, I'll do it, but you're gonna be waiting and you're gonna be paying. It's just the reality of it. Takes a long time. Probably most of my personal stuff at this point sits somewhere between tier 3 and tier 4. Because I just like painting my stuff to super high levels of quality, so. No, this is actually one of my own pieces that I'm prepping for a tournament in, just over a week, which has a best painted award in it, so you could kind of say it's part of a competition, painting-wise. Honestly, I have no expectation of doing at all well in the tournament. It's just, it has a best painted, so I'm going for it. It's local guys, but it is an official GW like tournament award for best painted army, so that's nice to stamp on somewhere. Which, hey, I got second place in the paint competition a couple weeks ago, so that was pretty cool. First, definitely deserved it. Jeez, that model, insane. not even sure what model that was. Some Horus Heresy model, but... Are you gonna Golden... No, I'm not Golden Demon. Holy crap. Not there yet. Give me a couple more years. Maybe. Golden Demon, that's... There are painters that they're on such a level that they can casually, like, go above Golden Demon. But Golden Demon is, like, the GW, like, gold stand... international gold standard for painters. Winning that's a pretty massive deal. Now, what happened was my my local game store's owner got sent by GW some like official tournament reward things because they want him to do a tournament to send them stats. And one of them, I saw one of them was the best pan. It's like, all right, that's my goal because I play Raven Guard. Yeah, it's Golden Demon. It has all statue and everything, and you get your name etched on it. And oh yeah, it's a whole thing. Is that all of the first round of highlighting? I think it is. This guy's coming out a little on the messy. Oh no, I haven't done the faceplate. Oh yeah, no, I did. It didn't cover as much as I wanted. We charge loads for commission Golden Demon. Yeah, probably. So here's the other problem with pro painting. It's why it's not the only thing I'm doing, and depending on how certain things go, I might not even continue doing it as a primary thing. You know, on occasion when it comes across, is that it's not consistent work, and actually it's going to become less consistent as we end up going into a bad economy. Because it's hobby-based. It's entirely hobby. It's based off of a very small set of people with certain motivations within a very small community. Warhammer community is not actually that large on the grand scale of things, and the amount of people that want to pay for their miniatures painted, it's fairly small, and there's actually a lot of pro painters out there. So, it's not a lot of business actually going around, and becoming less so as stuff gets rougher and people aren't spending their money on hobby stuff. Like, I haven't gotten a new order for a commission in... I mean, granted, I've been working on one very large commission for a while, but that's already completely paid off, and I've not gotten a new order for a commission in... Oh... like, nearly a year? Yeah, it's niche in a niche. It's a niche in a niche that has to find me amongst a bunch of other competition. Or actually, no. I've gotten asked to quote out a few things, in less than a year. Just none of them that actually followed through. I actually got one only a couple weeks ago, but the guy put a bad email, you know, misspelled his email or whatever, in the form on my website he put in, so I couldn't actually respond to him. It sucked because he had a cool idea, and I wanted to do the commission. He wanted White Scar's Gravis Captain paying to tier 4. Wanted to know how much that was. And I was like, probably like 400. It's going to take me a couple days to do it. And I was gonna do like free. And he mentioned this, like he wanted like freehand, especially on the cape. And I'm like, oh, I can really see this. It's gonna look really cool. I could totally do it. Be really fun. But yeah, I put a bad email. So whoops, and he's not popped up again. At least, well, here's the thing. He said was watching my stream and decided to ask, but he never talked in the chat. So I have no idea who it is or if he's ever come back or what. For all I know, he thinks I've ignored him. Pretty annoying. I've actually mentioned this a few times in streams since then, just to see if he happens to be lurking at the time so he can pipe up, but I don't even know how to go about finding commission painter. Is there like a site with a list? Nah, it's all over the place. Instagram is probably one of the easier places to go for that, because there's a bunch of different tags for it. I mean, you could also just use me. You're already talking to one. I can tell you who probably is the best ones on the planet, if not at least by reputation, if not by actual skill. But their skill level is extremely high, and that's Den of Imagination, which is a full studio of like 20 different painters. They're all extremely high level. I do think they do have a couple golden demons between them. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Their stuff is nuts. They're also fairly expensive. So on the lower detail stuff, they're actually cheaper than me, but on the higher end, they're yeah, they're usually more expensive than me. They also have a lot more levels of like quality to like choose from. Like they break down, like in my 4 levels, they probably have like 7 of theirs, and they have a couple levels above me because they have higher skilled painters. After that, probably Instagram. Like you look for the tags like commissions open or painting commissions or stuff like that. Website is scary. Level 1 suspend. Level 6 just says contact us, no price. Yeah, because level 6 they can't give set prices. They need to know exactly what you have in mind because the detail levels are so so high. The effects are so detailed, and the size is a huge factor in there. And like what model specifically, because some models are going to be, even if they're the same size at that level, some models are going to be a lot more of a project than others. That's why I can say that from experience. That's why right now I don't have any set prices. I never really have. I can't figure out how to set price something in a way that that like makes sense to me, because I'm like, oh, I could say it's this amount, and then I'm like, well, if someone brings me like X, it's gonna be completely screw me, because I said like the price is this, but it's gonna cost me way more than that in time to actually paint it. So I'm like, all right, I don't do prices. You just ask me what you want me to pay, and then I tell you how much. Has that probably cost me business over a couple years? Yeah, maybe. But I can't figure out a way of doing it otherwise. There's too many variables. get everything? I think I did. I don't know if I care much for it. I mean, it's the eyes. I screwed up the eyes. My initial shot of putting ink on it, I way overdid the ink. It was super flat. Hmm. Maybe you won't be able to tell as much once it's actually in the armor. I mean, the eyes are something that actually I could paint. I could repaint it after it's entirely assembled. It's not a big deal. So you know what? Yeah, we'll just move on. Because oh yeah, it's 4 o'clock. So let's assemble this thing. I'm gonna dry brush the base real quick, assemble, and then I'm gonna call it because I actually have other things I gotta do between now and the next stream. So. Gonna take some dawn stone. Sorry, the camera angle correctly. Next stream's tonight at 8 Eastern. Which, as we did succeed in finishing the Raven Guard Eliminator, I'll be beginning the Sicarian Venator I've been talking about for a little while. So effectively in 4 hours. In 4 hours is the next stream, and I will go for 2 hours. And this is my set schedule all time: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 to 4. I think it was actually supposed to be 2:30 to 4:30, and actually I started early today. I didn't even think about it. You know, I'm just gonna change to that because I can't. The 2:30 to 4:30 like kept like throwing me off. Screw it. Okay, let me try again. A figure name. Oh, okay. So we finished the squad of these guys because I just finished the sergeant. I just gotta put them together. And then tonight we're painting this thing, which looks pan, but I painted this like years and years ago, and it's got to be spruced up to like my modern standard, my current standard, and this thing needs some work. It's got some paint chipping because I didn't really prime this very well. I want this completely gone. I don't like that anymore at all. Make the cannon way better. This whole thing has got to get spruced up to competition. Well, to be fair, all of my VODs get put on my YouTube channel. So, and they keep the same name as the stream, so you'll be able to find it there. So yeah, we're just gonna put this Eradicator together, and I gotta go take care of stuff. But, well, it's not all gonna be done tonight, not by a long shot. It's probably gonna go a fair bit in the next. Oh, I just got a bunch of water in the thing because I over filled my wet palette. Try that again. Like rushing here. Or it's also I gotta pee. In all honesty, it's some of the rush. You know what? We're just gonna go late a little bit here. I'm gonna use what's on this brush here, and I'm gonna go use the restroom, and I'll be back and assemble this when I'm not super rushing to the point that I'm gonna screw stuff up. Like, I can afford a little bit of extra time here. But yeah, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm just gonna make it 2 to 4. I think I was doing 2:30 to 4:30 based on stats from a couple weeks ago, but like, it's hard to remember when one of them's based on the half hour and the other one's not. So 2 to 4 and 8 to 10 Eastern. That's my schedule. So if you want to see a vendor, you'll definitely see it next week. A number of times. Alright, I will be back in 2 minutes. I'm gonna mute my bike, and, yeah, be right back. Alright, I am back. Alright, I've got 10 days off starting tomorrow, so I ordered paint. Hot plasma tutorial is good. Been wondering about airbrush, if it's worth or not. I think you're just getting started. Maybe hold off a little on that. Get more accustomed to painting in general, so you're not surprised, like completely taken aback by some of the airbrush stuff. But in time, definitely worth it. Definitely worth an airbrush. One of the big ones for me is I never have to worry about priming again. Won't be for a while getting a 3D printer on payday. Yeah, there you go. That's probably more immediately relevant. But yeah, because I live in New England, the weather is always nuts, so priming with like cans and stuff is a nightmare, especially in the winter because I don't have a garage. So being able to prime with my airbrush, just right here, I like it. It's just part of the flow. Just all right, new model, prime it, base coat it with with the airbrush. Okay, yeah, so actually like you're not super far off in that regard. So I need to get this assembled. I'm glad you liked the tutorial though. You can kind of pull off the airbrush aspects of it, and just not as cleanly by using what's called glazes. You can look up a bunch of different YouTube videos explaining what glazes are in more detail, but yeah, effectively just use glazes. Yeah, with a brush, a lot of it's with stuff like glazes and inks. That's how I was doing it for years, and still do it fairly often like that. There's also certain paints that can get you that effect, like Like, when I say Citadel technical ones, a lot of them are stuff that's good for that. So, like, no. I did that. I actually did do that. Man, I thought I was done with this guy. He's not done. I completely missed his pouches. I somehow went through and did everything else and missed his pouches. I'll, I will have to do that. Can I do that after assembly? Oh, let's look at the pieces put together. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that assembled. That's not a huge deal. Okay. All right, I'm still gonna assemble. I'm gonna assemble it, and from the front, it'll be done. This is at some point today, I gotta go back and do that. I'll see if I can fit the time between streams, because I kind of want to just get straight to the Sakaran, or I could just get straight to the Sakaran, and just handle these over the weekend at some point. Even though I'm really busy this weekend. Well, we'll see how it goes. Actually, no, there's one time I can definitely fit in some painting. Yeah, I can paint it during my D&D game tomorrow. It's an impromptu game. I wouldn't normally be on Saturdays, but I got a family gathering for most of the day on Sunday. Need to learn the glowy stuff. Wanna print a Balrog at the printer? Ah, yes. Basically, what you want to do for that is just look up how to do like magma or lava bases, like how people make magma bases that look very, like, you know, stunning, very glowy, and use that in, like, the entirety of the Balrog effectively. All right, I'm pulling these apart. Why is this not conjoining nicely? What's happening here? Also, I'm switching this track. This track is too mellow. Also, I have like a million Discord messages. Why? Who is pinging the absolute holy hell out of my Discord? Okay, that track's fine. Yeah, glowy stuff is awesome. I've been doing all kinds of glowy stuff for a long time. It's really cool. Seeing you're getting a printer, especially if you get like a resin printer, look into, oh, what's their name? Deadly Print Studio. They make special effects bits, like muzzle blasts and explosions and stuff, and energy shields. And they sell their files. So, for really cheap too. Like, I actually own most of their library. I have 3D printers, I just can't really use them where I am, but anyway. Or I could use a plastic one, I just haven't really had anything I wanted to print with the plastic one in a while. But anyway, Deadly Print Studio. I've used their stuff a bunch before. I haven't used any new stuff in a while just because I can't print it, but it's there. And if you get good glowy stuff, it really makes a difference. You know, I will put, I'm not affiliate on Twitch yet. I gotta get some more followers, and I gotta get a larger average viewer count. Deadly Print Studio, I think it's plural studios. Let me pull up the website. Yeah, there we go. I will pop this into chat here. Oh, you found it, okay. I can't use the resin one because resin fumes are both caustic and toxic, so you need a lot of ventilation. Which, when I first got it, was fine because I actually had 2 windows in the room, so there was like a cross breeze, because they were on different walls. Where I am now, I'm in a basement, so no. I tried it once. I was fumed, even with a painting mask on. I was fumed out of my room, for like 8 hours. So yeah, I just simply can't use it here. I have to, like, for me, usually I'd have to build a whole ventilation, like, enclosed, sealed ventilation system through the one tiny little window I have access to. That, like, the actual opening of it is, like, a foot by foot. It's pretty rough. So I don't know why these two pieces won't go perfectly together, but it's pretty close. I don't think once everything else is on it, you'll be able to tell, really. Yeah, we're now... You know, it's fine. I gotta stop worrying about the time. I do have time to do all the stuff I need to do. I hate things that I have to do in the future. If I have stuff I need to do, I just want to do it now and get it over with. I don't like waiting to do stuff. Yeah, this camera. Wait. Next is the melt arm, which I gotta clean out the peg hole. Yeah, bro, I'm the type of guy who gets up at 7:30 for a trim and just go home and sit there all day. Yeah, gonna be honest, I'm not exactly sure what you mean. I think the England got me there on that one. Gets up at 7:30 for a trim, then just go home. Yeah, too much England. Which is funny, genetically speaking, I'm mostly English, but like very American. Actually, since Massachusetts Bay Colony, American. The English is genetic only. Alright, let's see if that was enough to stick this on. Yep, it was. Dry fit. Oh, actually, nope. I spoke too soon. Okay. I mean, like, if I have stuff to do, I get up early to do it, and then do nothing all day because I can't be bothered, like, waiting around to do stuff. Oh, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I will fill up the entire rest of that day with doing stuff. Because I'm that type. I never stop. I can't even watch movies anymore without, like, also painting at the same time. My hands gotta be doing something, like, productive. Or I start going nuts. It's kind of bad, because, like, burnout is a constant, like, looming threat. I mean, if my financial situation changes in the way I think it will in the next couple months based on certain things I got going on, I might be getting a very high-level tech job, like, very soon. Then, you know, that burnout thing might change, but at least, like, right now, yeah. Always a threat of burnout. Okay, now is it the shoulder causing the issue? No, it's the gun causing the issue. That's fine. The gun can be tight. Get glue in there. I'm gonna open up the gun hole a little bit. There we go. I don't know where I put this thing, because, like, a lot of stuff I have to bring up to my face to tell what I'm doing to prep the bits for the actual gluing. What I actually need, what would make this very easy, is if I could get a camera that was, like, mounted to my glasses and, like, angled slightly to like a particular distance. And I just always do stuff around there. Nah, probably like put it in the center, on the bridge of my glasses. So much easier to constantly have stuff where I want it so you can see what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, like, really well. Why is there like this big white like dot in oh, it's part of the lamium medium, I think. You guys don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, I cleaned it up. It's fine. Oh, good. A little bit of modeling tools scraping away there. It's good. It's fine. Okay, is the left arm ready? Hand is tight. I think I gotta put the... Okay, so doesn't want to go in the shoulder at all? I think it's at more of an angle than where I cleaned it out. What is even happening here? Need a drill. Need my drill with a big old drill bit. I just dumped all my drill bits because it stuck to some green stuff on my desk. Great. Slightly too big. Yep, that every single drill is out of the bag now. Nice. Nice. Sure, yeah. Just gonna end up making this ginormous hole in there to get the peg to go in. That, or I may just cut off the peg in a second because this is getting ridiculous. I'll use the wrist as alignment. Unless I actually did mix up the... No, it's there. It doesn't... Alright, I'm gonna trim some of the peg off. Redonkulous. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so put the glue in there and then all done with this bloody arm. It took nearly as much time to like get the arm prepped to be glued that nearly as much time as it took to actually paint the thing. I wish I was joking. Like the arm took me like maybe 10 minutes to paint. I just realized the backpack's gonna be a whole thing too because the pegs aren't aligning well. Where's that really big drill bit? It's gonna make the hole really big. Also, this track's getting on my nerves, and I'm very pensive right now. Track's gotta go. Oh, I'm just in time for it to switch on sound. Brilliant. Yeah, getting a little tilted here, just because like I feel like um I got all this stuff to do. I'm like behind schedule. And actually, I don't think I really am. I don't have a drill large enough to make this bigger. Alright, well, let's see if it'll go on in the first place. Nope. So much so, it popped off a nail. Alright, very good. You know what? I've dealt with this once before. Simple solution. I'm not dealing with the peg. Peg's just going away. There we go. Done. And then this just gets glued right into where it's supposed to be. The head, which is getting cut off its peg entirely because that's just going to get in my way. Alright, for the dry fit. Yeah. Pretty good. Pop some glue in there. I popped it right into place with the glue in there. Nice. The gun arm definitely on the way. Well, I guess it's too late now. Alright, let's get this on the base. The base is fairly bland right now, I know. I do intend to do more stuff to the base in the future. I just need these done for that tournament. I also plan on putting tribalization, like tribal stuff on these guys at some point as well, but again, I don't have time for those kinds of conversions until probably after the tournament. We'll see how long this Karn takes me and how long the stuff I want to do the Storm Raven gunship that is already has its basics done, but I want to get at least some freehand on it before the tournament because it's going to be more of a centerpiece. I'd say this looks pretty bloody good, actually. And yeah, it's missing one transfer. I gotta get, I got more of those coming in the mail. I ran out. Alright, 4:30. What, a half hour over, but whatever. That's fine. Now I can move on to Vanguard tonight, and you'll see it if you pop on next week, Butterfly. Because, yeah, no, I'm definitely still going to be working on it come, say, Monday and probably even on Wednesday. Thanks, man. Have a good night. Yeah, and have a good first few days of your vacation. And I'll see you hopefully next week. Oh, well, you just get better at painting. That's what you do. You do more and more advanced painting schemes that take longer and longer to do until you're like me, where it takes me, like, you know, on my own. Like, if I wasn't bursting these out for you know, effectively a painting competition, my own projects usually take me like a month per unit, like a month per squad or per vehicle or what have you, because I'm only doing it on my time. And I do so much extra, like, complex crap. Yeah, I did just realize that this guy's, like, arm is sticking out slightly. Over, like, right over here. It's sticking out, but you won't be able to notice it from a distance. Yeah. Also, if you want to definitely get, notifications when I go live, jump in the Discord. You can get through the link tree. I post with an everyone tag every time I go live. So if you're awake and paying attention, you will definitely know exactly when I go up. So that's the most reliable way of knowing, of getting in on the streams currently. And yeah, have a good one.